Annihilator presents Bowzone Live is brought to you by Annihilator Broadheads and these fine sponsors.
Welcome to Annihilator Broadheads presents Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola alongside Ryan Kohler in the co-host chair for this episode. We got a great show for you. As you know, Ryan, our hunters, we're in their stands today, including Darryl Legg.
Awesome video.
Excellent footage from Darryl. We'll catch up with him a little bit later on. Mike Bachand as well.
That camera he has, it's neat. I want it. I don't know what it is.
Okay, it does look good. Great perspective. And then whose footage is that?
Scott Sterling. I recognize that. I've seen that in the chat. That's cool.
And then we'll also catch up with Michelle
great.
Van Dam. Yes, absolutely.
Great looking buck there too.
Great looking buck. And off the top, we saw Gunther Tondelier, who has some great footage.
Yeah.
He looks like he's having fun.
If you look close at that footage, you can see that it's the same spot that he shot his whitetail in last year. I recognize it because it's my tree stand.
It's his tree stand. He was saying that before we went to air. Louis DeBrusque will check in as well. I saw Louis today down at the rink at Oilers practice.
Yeah,
he's fired up.
Yeah, he's fired up. We had Louis, Jason Moss. We had a bunch of guys trying to get him in stands and see if we can get deer down, so it's been a lot of fun so far.
Ryan, usually we save you for episode 1. This is season 3. We've brought you in for episode 2. You more comfortable with that? You like it?
Hey, I'll come in anytime you want. I don't mind coming in at all. And episode 1 was great. I thought it was awesome. There was a little tease there at the end, so I think we have some cool video in store for a little longer in the show, a little later.
We will have that. We did see you. You were in Saskatchewan. What else have you been up to? And tell us a little bit about how conditions have changed since Tuesday's episode.
Well, Saskatchewan was awesome. I went to Weber Outfitting. They have a great setup there. Hunted over bait. It was new. It's always new when you go and do new things, so I'm learning every time I go. It was minus 28 at one point. Like, it was really, really cold. And, you know, minus 28, 26, 25. I had Zach with me. He was helping film, and then he left after day 5, I think, and then I ended up filming a kill on my own, which was pretty tough. But even just the elements in minus 28, minus 26, like, you've got to change your gear every day to get used to the cold. So,
yeah.
But it's, you know what? At the end of the day, it's still good. It's fine. It's fun. I don't mind it at all.
You save anything for us today?
Did I save anything?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
I got all kinds of treats today.
Yeah.
This will be really fun.
It's going to be a great show. Ryan Kohler co-hosting today. We'll catch up with a whole bunch of our hunters right here on Bowzone Live. Welcome back to Bowzone Live, presented by Annihilator Broadheads. Tom Gazzola with Ryan Kohler. Ryan, we have to get to our contest for this year. You have the chance to win the Ultimate Prize Pack, which includes items from our great sponsors. Ryan, you're used to most of those products. Any favorites in there?
Hex, big
Hex.
time. Yeah, I mean, they're all great, but the Hex stuff, I think, helps you get closer to your animal. I think it's legit. It's really cool. All that stuff's really good, though. And, you know, I'll tell you, at the end of the night, at the fire pit, when you have a Bronc beer, that's not too bad either.
No, that's a great sell right there. All right, tell us what happened when you got back from Saskatchewan. Things did get serious in the Bowzone, right?
Yep, I got back from Saskatchewan, and as soon as I came back, it was minus 24, or somewhere in the 20s that day. And I hooked up with Jason Moss, and
Nice.
I used him. Actually, he came and he filmed for me for morning. And we went into an area that we had scouted for about 3 months, and we've been watching a couple of deer in there for a few months. And we went in early, and the snow was super crunchy. We scared out all the deer, all the moose, and had actually a pretty shitty morning.
Let's take a look. The cameras were rolling.
It was really tough.
Okay, we're in a spot here where we're picking the tree. We've cut down a lot of trees. We've got lanes in every direction. The whole stand is covered by this buckbrush area, so you basically can't see the tree stand if you're walking through it or around it unless you get into a lane. All we need now is the rut to kick in, and we need deer to funnel through this funnel. That's it. Hopefully you're watching Bowzone Live right now, and we're in November, and we're already in the stand, and the next clip is us in the stand smashing that giant. Or 2 giants. 2 giants. Could be 2. First hit in the Bowzone, and we had a big learning lesson on day 1 there. When we walked in, we blew all the deer off both fields. We scared one of the 2 giant whitetails.
we still managed to rattle in a buck. That's the buck you would see right now. And we rattled in another small buck and called in a doe, and she also winded us. Welcome to the Bowzone. Everything goes sideways.
Okay, this is my first evening for Bowzone Live. I'm in a little transition spot here in between a field and a big bush. Tonight I'm gonna sit back and enjoy a juice box. Good luck to everybody out there. It's the beginning of Bowzone Live. Just rattled in a buck. On his way in, he was coming in, and there was a moose bedded in front of me, and then the buck just got scared by the moose. But it was Hightower. Hightower's like, he's a young buck and he's really tall. He's gonna be an awesome deer, and like by next year or the year after, he'll be absolutely awesome. I'm gonna come down now, it's about noon, and I'm gonna move to a field edge stand, grab my stuff and move for the afternoon. Field edge. Okay, so evening 2. I just had a huge buck come in at 5x5. He definitely winded me or saw something he didn't like, and he moved off. Not long after, I heard 3 gunshots, and they were very close to me in the direction that he ran. I'm like 100% sure that deer just got slammed right behind me. I was thinking about getting down, but what's the point? The deer's dead, and some bozo has him. Brutal. Gross. Disgusting. What do you do, I guess? It's the way it goes. Too bad. I'll show you a video of the 5x5. I'll get that camera. He hit the scrape. I should have a good daylight video of him. As long as that camera was working. Nice big heavy dark 5. A really nice deer with a rifle. I filmed that deer at first light. Couldn't even really see it. I didn't see a deer. It's noon. I'm gonna move to a field edge. Okay, I got down. I shot him right at last light. It was perfect. Huge 5x6 with like an 8-inch drop tine. I rattled him in the field. He was way in the middle of the field, like where cars could see him. I couldn't believe it. It was him out there. And I rattled, and then he came right across the field. He bumped the does a couple times, and then he started hanging around with the does. I grunted 2 more times. He started getting closer. Then he played with the does. He wouldn't come, so I just rattled 1 more time. Then he came down, and you can see on the video, he hit the scrape right in front of me. And then he got behind this weird, like, hooky tree, and he stood there for like 3 minutes. I was in full draw for probably 3 or 4 minutes. He just walked right in, and I just smoked him. As a matter of fact, after I shot him, I could see through the trees the way he ran. He ran about 100 yards, but I know he didn't make it to the next bush because I would have seen it. He's down in the field. I'm sure of it. We actually watched him 3 or 4 months ago. We got some pictures of him, a few big bucks, 3 big bucks. Gunther and I came in here, put this stand up very early. I want to say it was August. And then we left it alone. I never came back. I didn't put a foot in here. I came in here a couple times to pull cards, and that was it. And we just let it get good. We just allowed the deer to do their thing every day. And this was my first night hunting this stand. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the blood. It's starting to kind of spray. Holy smokes. Holy smoker. Look at this dude. Holy man. Look at this whitetail. Holy smokes, when I saw him in the field, I knew for sure that was a shooter. That is an awesome deer. Look at the drop-tine on that whitetail. Just a smasher. Holy smokes. Well, this is the first whitetail for Bowzone Live, Season 3. I knew as soon as I saw him, he was a shooter. Just an awesome whitetail. And he came to the rattling horns, he scraped, he grunted, he did just about everything a whitetail would do. And you can't really ask for anything more than that. I mean, holy moly, what a buck. Nice big whitetail, bow and arrow in the Edmonton Bowzone. You're watching Bowzone Live.
There you go. Ryan Kohler tagging out. Very
him.
Nice. Our first buck, and you brought some show and tell.
Yeah, neat, eh?
Give us a look. And,
I just cleaned them up. So, but just really cool because the drop tine on the deer is just massive, and it's just a really neat horn. And yeah, just really lucky to be able to be in the right spot at the right time. The craziest part about this deer was that the day after I shot him, they put 150 cows in that area. So I never would have had another chance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so just sometimes you get a little lucky, and I think that was the case. So
Shake and bake.
a little bit of hard work and a little bit of luck put together in the Bowzone, and you get lucky. So
Look at that.
yeah.
Well done, Ryan Kohler. All right, our first buck is down here in Bowzone Live. We're going to catch up with Darryl Legg next.
Hello, my name is Sam Hallaby. I live in the Parkland County, and I have for over 40 years. I've also hunted the Bowzone since I was 16 years old, so I'm pretty familiar with it. I'm also an Alberta Conservation Officer with Alberta Environment and Parks. I've had over 35 years of experience as a conservation officer. In 1995, I had a tree stand accident fall, which left me a quadriplegic. After a few years of sitting at home, feeling sorry for myself and watching hunting shows, I decided to give it a try again because my son was of the age where he wanted to get out hunting. So I tried it again. Of course, now I had to change my tactics and my thinking a little bit to the ground. So I hunt from a ground blind 100% of the time. And I'm hoping that maybe if there's some others out there that are in the same condition as I am, that are thinking they would like to try it. I encourage all of you to get out and try it. And if you need some help, look for a buddy to give you a hand and get back out in the outdoors.
Just met Sam Hallaby. Incredible story, great addition to the show. Inspiring, absolutely. If you know a hunter with a physical disability that we can help out and get them into the field, have a look at this. The good people at Be Adaptive Equipment are generously donating $600 in hunting gear.
Awesome.
So send their story to info@wildtv.ca. All right, we're going to see from Darryl Legg what he's been up to. I know you're teasing.
This will be good.
It'll be good. You were teasing it earlier. Darryl's going to be joining us shortly. Let's find out what Darryl Legg's been up to.
Sounds good. How's it going, Darryl?
Good. How you guys doing? How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. Pretty good. So you've got lots of footage. You've got a bunch of stuff from the last few weeks. You've been seeing some cool animals, I guess?
Yeah, honestly, I'm running into more coyotes and moose these days, as everybody can attest to as of today. But it's slowed down quite a bit. We got that real extreme cold temperature move in last week, and then it took off, or the week before, and then it took off, and it's kind of messed stuff up a bit. I think the guys, it's off and on. I think the guys that are seeing a lot of stuff right now are the guys that have food around them. If you don't have food, everything else is just kind of scattered.
I remember seeing like a 6x6, a big, heavy, dark 6x6, kind of walking under your tree stand and really just going by alive. What was up with that?
Yeah, it's just here's a really young deer. I mean, he's beautiful, beautiful animal, but just really, really young. Amazing genetics, and he needs a couple more years, and he's going to be just a stud.
Okay, we got Darryl on here quicker than we thought, and then we're going to go and see what Darryl's been shooting as well.
Sounds good.
Not sure if this is working or not, but I think this is day one of Bowzone Live. It's been pretty slow the last couple of days. We had extreme colds. I think average morning was -27. Now I think we're like +3. So some guys are still seeing a lot of stuff. I guess it depends if you got a food source or not. I have no food. But let's stay tuned and get this done. Good luck to everyone. Hey Tom, checking in. That's day one for me. I didn't see a thing. Some squirrels, but that's about it. I guess that's a wrap for me. I did have some skidoos come by though and greet me with their presents. Let this be a tip to everybody out there. If you have friends that skidoo or if you skidoo, seriously, just stay out of private property. Just because it's a field doesn't mean you can go skidooing in it. There's people that have permission to be in these spots, and when you just go ripping around on skidoo, it's frustrating, it really is. That's your tip of the day. Spread the love, spread the word. Later out. So it's November 14th. It's been pretty slow for me. It was really, really hot. Just about the end of October, but now it's really slow. I got no food sources around me at all. I tried a little bit of rattling. I guess I rattled too hard. Busted a tine off the other day. Well, I didn't see no deer. But a bull moose did come by. It's on a walk, it's all good. No deer, 0 deer. I hear a plane buzzing in the sky. But it's mild temperatures, mild. Most people I've been talking to have not seen much deer. Last day, couple days. Hope for the best.
All right, great footage there from Darryl Legg. Ryan Kohler, what did you like about that? What else do you have for Darryl?
Well, I did notice that he's in the same tree stand he killed a 190-inch deer last year, so there's probably a reason. Legger, what's up, man? You haven't sat in a different tree. I'm guessing something else is there.
Yeah, there's been a couple good deer that I've seen moving around, but I don't know if they turn nocturnal or what. My cameras aren't picking them up, but they're around. So just take your chances and put your butt where you think is going to happen.
Darryl, stick with it, my friend. Good catching up with you. Thanks for the visuals. I look forward to catching up with you the rest of the way, pal.
Good luck to you guys. Take care.
That's Darryl Legg. When we come back, we'll check in with Mike Bachand and Scott Sterling as well. Welcome back to Annihilator Broadheads presents Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola with Ryan Kohler here in studio. It's been a fun show, action-packed, lots going on. We saw Darryl Legg earlier. We're going to catch up with Mike Bachand right away. He's going to... Cool camera.
Cool camera.
Well, why don't we take a look at what he's been doing with that camera right now?
Let's do it.
Just a tad bit windy today, but I wanted to come shoot. Just haven't been able to shoot in a while, so get some reps in. It's July 30th. Season's only a month away. Plans already this summer in August, and between work, try to get as much shooting as I can. Might get a sit or two in for whitetails. See if I can get an early season one. Some decent bucks on camera, nothing amazing, but they come and go, and every once in a while they just change up their pattern and cameras aren't in the right spots. I kind of keep them in the same spot at the start of every year just because they're good inventory spots, but bucks pass. I miss them, so. Shot the Annihilators last year, 100 grains. I'm switched to 125 grains and I'm shooting the XL. And this is the XL. These things are durable. I smoked a rock last year with 100 grain, and you can't even tell which one it was. They didn't even damage it really that much. Did a quick sharpen to it, edge was back, and yeah, these things are they're tough. I don't know if you ever watched the videos some of the guys post or they've done online and on their social media pages. So yeah, the guys are shooting through car doors, or shooting concrete blocks. The only thing that's really getting damaged is the arrow itself. So. I don't know, I'm really impressed with these things. I wanted a durable broadhead, and these things hit every requirement that I had. Annihilator on the right, field point on the left. If you're looking for a new broadhead this year, I know it's really early. By the time you probably see this, it's probably November. If you're looking for a new one, because you're unhappy with how everything else performed, honestly, get an Annihilator. These things are rock solid.
So this setup here, it's pretty tight quarters. Got a trail below me, about 5 yards out, like you get close, and they'll circle around in front of me to the left. And we're under 15 yards. So even with all my gear I got on here, the same control and stuff I use, I'm still wearing my X stuff as my base layer. I found last year I was getting some really close calls. Deer are getting really close to me under my tree and stuff like that. And even if we definitely saw something, we're quite sure. We couldn't smell because of the scent control. But they registered that something was there, but it's almost like they ignored it once after a little bit, because I'm guessing it's this stuff. It's gotta work. Deer just ignore you almost when you're sitting in a tree, so it is my go-to base layer as of last year. Just after all the experience I've had, this stuff works.
Mike Bachand, who has not sent an arrow yet. I just want to point that out. I'm not calling him out or anything like that.
You totally just called him out.
I'm not calling you out, Mike. It's all good. But one thing we did notice is the camera work is
that's
absolutely,
really cool.
You were impressed with it.
Yeah, it's got to be a GoPro. I'm guessing it's a GoPro, and I'm too old to understand how to work one of those. So
you can figure it
I'm
out.
going to get one, and I'm going to be cool just like Mike. But no, Mike's.
Is this his year?
I hope so. I mean, Mike's worked really, really hard, right? We've got everybody working their butt off, and Mike's one of those guys that works his butt off all the time. So I hope he does really well, of course, right?
As do I.
Last year we had, amazing success, but there's a reality to the Edmonton Bowzone. It's really, really tough.
Yep.
And it's going to be really, really tough for the rest of the way. You've got the last 2 weeks coming up where the bucks really break free and big bucks will start running around. I think we're in a little bit of a lockdown phase right now.
Right.
So it should get better and better and better each day.
Ryan, one guy that we also haven't seen harvest a buck is Scott Sterling. What do you got for Scott?
Well,
Ryan?
I mean, I know he had an amazing encounter. I know he had a nice whitetail, a shooter, a mature whitetail under the stand, and I saw this deer running back and forth like a couple times under the tree. How did you manage to get him to do that?
Well, I've spent a lot of time in the trees training these guys this year, and he finally performed, which was awesome. I have no idea how I got him to do that.
Like back and forth twice.
I know. All I know is that I had my bow in my hand on my lap, and my other hand was on the camera, and I didn't see him until the very last second when he came underneath the tree right below me, and I could not even move to get a shot. So,
Scott, let's see that footage.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
All right.
It's awesome. Look at that, buck grunting. That's awesome. Just a little buck, but it's grunting anyway. It's super cool. That must be actually the shooter that was grunting. There he is. He's a shooter under the tree.
No, that's a doe. That's just bedded underneath there. She just came up.
That's gotta be him. He just ran past you and ran past, and then comes back.
This is the two here. So we're seeing him. That's a little button buck chasing the doe, and I didn't see him until he came right out underneath the tree.
And Scott, the big buck that we're just taking a look at, tell us about him.
It's funny. I actually got a game camera picture of him about 300 yards straight south of where I was sitting that afternoon, about an hour and a half before he showed up underneath my tree there. So I've got a few pictures of him, and I'm really hoping. I didn't spook him anyways. He didn't know I was there. He didn't take off. He was up at the top of the hill that you saw there. Where he kind of wandered off the last little bit of video. And he was up there for probably 10 minutes, 60 yards away from me, downwind from me. We had a north wind blowing, and he was just pacing back and forth along that top of that ridge before he finally wandered off. So he'll be back. I'll have another chance at him. So.
Did you rattle him in?
I did a little bit of rattling. I did some light grunts, and I used one of the little small Primos cans to get him to come in. So
out of all three things, do you think he came
honestly,
with the rattle?
I think it was the rattle. I really think it was the rattle.
Scott, I've got one question for you.
Yes.
Are you going to get one this year?
Are you going to get one?
Well, I'm not going to shave this beard until I do, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go to work after this month of November if I'm not successful.
Oh, Scott, I want to see you.
Ryan's going to throw at me. I don't know.
Okay, best of luck out there, Scott. Great catching up with you. More Bowzone Live coming up after this. Welcome back to Bowzone Live, presented by Annihilator Broadheads. Tom Gazzola with Ryan Kohler. We caught up with Scott Sterling. We saw Mike Bachand. We saw and caught up with Darryl Legg as well.
He's great.
Yes, they're all great.
All great.
Another great one that we added to the roster last year was Michelle Van Dam, and late in the season she was able to tag out, Ryan. She's back this year. What can you tell us about Michelle?
She's in a great spot.
Yeah?
Yep, she's in a really good spot right now. She's got lots of deer in the area that she's in. I think she's got two different spots that she's hunting. But I talked to her tonight, and we actually kind of share a little permission. So she went to a place that I know that's full of big thick alfalfa like that. And nice. I don't know how she did yet tonight, but You might have to tune into the next show to find out.
Look at this. He's a natural. Let's take a look at what Michelle Van Damme's been up to.
I am soaking wet. So if I spend my evening checking chips and climbing hills and, you know, getting my sweat on and getting eaten alive, getting my blood sucked, I count that as a workout, so it's fine. It's fine for me. It does not bother me if I don't run, or if I don't run that week, because I'm getting exercise in other ways, and it's actually a good thing to do different things when you exercise as well. So I actually see it as a benefit, and a way that I can't make excuses. See? Such a good workout that I actually have to stop and take a break. I just won't grind. I want to make a mile though, and check some more chips, and then yeah, I'll show you my best photos so far that are just over there. It's about 100 yards away. I got some pretty sweet bucks coming through. I'll probably be putting my stand over there during the rut, but pre-rut, if I want to hunt, like in a couple weeks, I'm gonna hunt in the farther back corner. They come out in the evening, and I got their times pinned, and they go back in the morning. This is kind of towards the end of where they feed, and then they go back, and they take a couple hours to get back. So, yeah. Anyways, I gotta go. I forgot to add, it is August 26th. Season opens in a few days. I don't plan on hunting right away. I'm going to be hunting for elk. I'm going to be really focusing on elk for September, and but I'll still definitely come out and sit. Fresh rub. Another fresh rub. Yeah, look at this. Okay. This trail here should lead to my tree stand. I was taught wrong. I didn't even know how to tie the knots or how to install it or anything like that. I just put pegs in a tree and I put a tree stand up at the top of the tree without any safety harness at all. And I'd be holding on, hugging for dear life, trying to get my tree stand strapped to the tree. And yeah, I could have definitely fallen. So it's just not worth it.
That
So-
big dude. I'm
so-
staring at the footage like everybody else at home. Ooh, look at that mule deer.
Of course. And now we saw Michelle putting in the work from a couple months ago up until about a week or so ago. Have you noticed too, Ryan, like our hunters also have different styles of capturing the footage? That's something that I'm starting to see a little bit too.
I think people are just getting better and better and better. I mean, that was great footage. I liked it when she put her finger on the spot in the field where the deer was going to come out, and then like bam, 2 seconds later, or probably 20 minutes later, a buck comes. Like just basically a shooter comes running out.
Yeah.
That's talent. I've never done that before. I've never seen that before, actually.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Great stuff from Michelle
Really
Van
good
Dam
stuff.
coming up. We'll catch up with Gunther Tondelier as well as Louis DeBrusque right here on Bowzone Live. You're watching Bowzone Live, presented by Annihilator Broadheads. Tom Gazzola alongside Ryan Kohler here in the Wild TV studios. Our contest for this year, Ryan.
Awesome contest.
Awesome contest. You've got the chance to win the ultimate prize pack, which includes items from our great sponsors. Ryan, we're going to catch up and see something from Gunther Tondelier. Yeah, you know him well.
I do. He's probably sitting in my tree.
Yep. What else can you tell us about Gunther outside of the fact that he's probably sitting in your tree right now?
Well, I mean, Gunther is really well educated on whitetails. He understands the Bowzone better than anybody else I know. I think he probably is one of the top Bowzone hunter that I know of for sure. He's just a smart guy. He's an outfitter in the Edmonton Bowzone, takes guys on hunts, and he can execute when the time comes. Like when he has an opportunity on a whitetail that he's been hunting, he gets the job done. And if it's a 10-day or a 15-day sit for one animal and you see nothing the whole time except for that one animal, he'll sit there the whole time and wait and do it. So
let's see what Gunther's been up to.
What a great hunt this morning. Started off with 5 does walking down the road. They came right to my vehicle that was parked here, and then they cut into the bush. Right as they were going into the bush, I heard a deer behind me. My stand is just over top of this scrape. And I slowly turn around and there's a young 4x4 buck on the scrape. Got a little bit of video of him. That was great. Maybe an hour later, I spotted another buck about 150 yards away. I gave a couple grunts to him, and he turned, came straight in.
Super cool encounter. That's what it's all about right there. I love this stuff. You're watching Bowzone Live. Welcome to the Edmonton Bowzone. As you can see, he sort of circled the stand and was looking around for another buck. He stopped at the scrape, put on a full show. That's what I live for right there, baby. That is awesome. Fun fact, that buck I just grunted in was directly downwind of me. He was working that scrape. You could see he had his nose up in the air. He was scent checking. Never sensed anything.
Not long after that, I look over my shoulder and there's 2 bull moose coming. So I'm sitting there filming those 2 moose and I hear something at the scrape behind me again. So I turn around and there's another whitetail buck on the scrape. I ran out of room on my video camera, so I'm using my phone to do a little video here. I burned so much footage this morning. What an awesome hunt. Hope you enjoy the show. I have to get back to my real job. I got some hunters coming in to hunt the Edmonton Bowzone here, so I'll be guiding for a week, but good luck to everybody out there on the crew, and we'll see you when I get back.
Awesome.
A couple of those bucks, great footage, obviously, from Gunther there.
Yeah,
well
awesome.
done, Gunther, on the footage. But a couple of those bucks,
Yeah,
I mean, to pass those up.
I mean, he's got deer that are, they're close, right? Some people will probably let an arrow fly on a couple of those bucks for sure, but they're just not quite, into that mature stage. They're not quite there yet, but they're close. And I mean, when you look really close at that first 4x5 that he had come in, it looks a lot like the deer he shot last year. It's got to be some type of relative. It's in the same place, and then he has a nice 5 come through. And man, anybody would love that deer on their wall. It's a nice buck, but again, it just doesn't quite have the mass. It doesn't have the age, and so of course Gunther's not going to shoot it. He's going to let it go.
Gunther Tondelier, we'll see what he has in store for us. Guy I caught up with at Edmonton Oilers practice today and was pumped up about the show was Big Lou, Louis DeBrusque. You've been helping him out a little bit. I know he's been on the road. He goes back on the road to the New York area for a couple of games. He says he's really excited the first day back. He's going right into the stand.
Yep, he's been great. He sat a stand and he saw the dude. The dude is a monster 5x5, huge, big, heavy, dark chocolate 5x5, very mature deer. It's a big time shooter, a totally awesome whitetail. And he saw him right away, which was kind of amazing. And then he saw another buck called Hightower, who I passed in an earlier video, and then Louis did the full pass on Hightower.
We're going to see
which is pretty awesome.
Louis next show, and maybe he's got Hightower in that footage, which should be great.
Yeah,
it's going to be great. All right, back with more Bowzone Live right after this. Welcome back to Annihilator Broadheads presents Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola with Ryan Kohler, who we've had a lot of fun. Obviously, it's been informative. We've had some great footage.
Yeah,
a lot of chatter, which has been excellent.
We're just getting started, too. We're just getting started. You're getting into the last 2 weeks, which is the best time of year to hunt whitetails in the Edmonton Bowzone, so things are going to happen. It's going to start popping.
Who are we dedicating this season to, Ryan? Because there's a special someone that we want to put it out to.
Kubi.
Yep. Tell us about Kubi.
Kubi is the Thompsons' best friend, longtime born in Edmonton Bowzone, great guy. Unfortunately passed away. So yeah, hats off to you.
Absolutely. Also, there's still a lot of hunters we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen from Corey Cook, Keith McDonald, who was great when he was co-hosting as well.
Keith has been doing some pretty cool stuff. I'll tell you a really quick story if we have time.
Yes, we have time.
He's got some clients in the Edmonton Bowzone, and one of his clients went to the stand and put the decoy out in front of the stand. And before he got on the first peg, a real nice shooter came in and mounted the decoy right in front of the hunter, right in front of the stand, and then off the ground, he shot it right there.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, this kind of stuff is super weird and doesn't really happen. But
Keith, Keith is.
So it's on out there. Keith's a great character. I think he's done quite well with his hunters already, and he's on a mega monster.
I love it. I love it.
Mega.
And his descriptions are absolutely tremendous, and his story time is fantastic. So hopefully we see something from Keith soon.
Heather and Kevin are out there too?
Yes, we haven't heard from Heather and Kevin yet. Obviously, they've been part of Bowzone Live since the beginning. What do you know about what's going on with their hunts right now?
They're in some great spots. They've got, they're going to be working hard. I think Kevin has been doing some stuff at work with some bear dens and stuff right now, so kind of fun. And Heather's getting out there, and they're going to get kick-started here right away in the last 2 weeks, and I expect they'll do well.
All right, speaking of Heather, we actually have a tip from her ready to go. Let's go to that tip from Heather Wilson.
I'm Heather Wilson, and I've been hunting probably for about 24 years. In the last 10 years, I would say especially, the systems for keeping warm on stand have really changed. The warmest thing I've found so far is the Fanatic. I'm wearing the jacket right now. And for women especially, it's a game changer for me because we tend to get cold faster. And I find that I'm able to wear less layers. And so if you're at the top end of your poundage on your bow that you can pull by the end of summer, you may have some difficulty pulling it when you get bulked up because the angle of your jaw changes and it just puts more pressure on your shoulders. And we're not known for upper body strength as much. So I think if I can say anything, it's to find a system that works, that doesn't bulk you up too much and allows you the freedom and movement with your arm to be able to pull your bow. Shot placement is a big deal, and I think as women, we can shoot the big animals too with less poundage. You just have to really be careful where your shot placement is.
There you go. There's Heather Wilson. Look forward to seeing more from Heather and Kevin.
She's right. She's really right with that tip. Great tip.
Excellent tip. Excellent tip. Real quick, we have a couple of seconds. You said Jason Moss has been very busy. Obviously, CFL season has come to an end. He's got time to get into the Bowzone. You've been working with him a bit.
Yeah, Jason Moss has been grinding. Like, I mean grinding. He's been going to one of the hardest places that I know in the Bowzone, carrying his climber every time he goes in there. He's had one little encounter. It's like 4 or 5 days dark to dark. I mean, this guy grinds. This guy works. And he hasn't had much luck, which has been tough. But I know that when you do stuff like that, stuff's going to happen. He's going to get one.
Good. We're wishing him well as the rest of our hunters. What are you expecting between now and the next show, Ryan? We've got a couple of days here.
Hey, imagine the last 2 weeks of November in the Edmonton Bowzone. It's like Christmas. What am I expecting? Christmas presents all over the place. It's going to be great. You're going to have some great footage of big bucks. Some guys are going to get them. Some guys aren't, but that's what makes the show great, right?
Absolutely. Expect the unexpected, I would say. Ryan, thanks for co-hosting. How'd it go? It went well, I thought.
I think so.
I think so.
It was really fun.
It was a really fun show. Absolutely. Look forward.
We'll do it again.
We'll do it again. We have no idea who's going to be sitting in your spot on Monday. You'll have to tune in and find out. Time will tell. Be sure to check up on the Wild TV app.
Yeah, the app's awesome.
It is awesome. And all the social media as well for our big prize pack and our Euro Mounter contest as well. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there. And this one's for Kubi.
Annihilator presents Bowzone Live is brought to you by Annihilator Broadheads and these fine sponsors.